Hi everyone, welcome to Finance, Relationships, and Reddit. Today we're reading a story off of Am I the Asshole? Are we ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, Kanawapa says, Am I the asshole for telling my wife I'll only pay 1K of mortgage per brother lives with us rent free? Am I the asshole for telling my wife that I will only pay 1K, i.e., a three-way split of mortgage from now on until her brother moves out? My wife and I have been splitting up the payment on the mortgage and all of our utilities pretty evenly for 4 years, with her brother and his two kids living with us rent free. I've been so fed up with him taking advantage of us and my wife for some reason she keeps defending him, although lately she seems to have been annoyed by him. I asked her when she will talk to him about moving out because he forcefully moved in with us. Quote, I'm gonna chill here for a couple of days. After we moved into our new house, it's been 4 years. Just gonna chill here for a couple of days. She says that I'm too straightforward and I will sometimes say things I don't mean because of my anger for him lately, which is why she won't let me speak my mind when we discuss him moving out. When I keep mentioning when he will leave, she says that she will talk to him, but she never does, and even when he is home. I told her that I will only give 1K for the mortgage as long as he lives here. I give 1K, he gives 1K, and she gives 1K. 300 for the mortgage and 700 for utilities, whatever else bills she has. Because I've been so fed up with him living rent free and he comes home and makes a mess every day, piles of dishes, trash everywhere, clothes laying in the living room. I wash his kids, 12 and 13's, dishes sometimes because, well, they're kids, but I've been getting fed up with them as well because they act just like their dad and expect me and my wife to clean up after them. We spoke to them but the good habits die after a week. I told her that I'll only give 1K of mortgage as long as he lives here. I feel like the asshole because she has good intentions and wants to help her brother, but he won't help himself. Is this fair? Am I the asshole? TLDR, I told my wife I'm paying less, paying 1K for a mortgage until her brother moves out, who has been living with us for rent free for 4 years.
Oh, there's a lot to that. 4 years is a while. It's a minute, you know.
It's it's just a couple of days,
Yeah,
okay? It's just a couple of days.
I mean 4 years. But anyway, what do you think?
My number one question is why is your mortgage 300 and your utilities 700 per person split three ways?
That's got to be the other way around,
That's
though, right?
that well, that's what it says in the post. That's insane. Why is your mortgage three? So it says $300 for the mortgage and 700 for utilities slash whatever else bills she has. Like, is that for the whole month? But he says give 1K for mortgage as long as he lives here. It's very confusing. I'm not quite sure if he broke that down correctly.
I reckon he's got it the wrong way around.
I hope he does because mortgage of 900 isn't that bad at all. But if you're paying 2,100 in utilities every month,
Yeah, you're getting screwed. You need to
Jesus.
maybe cancel that Netflix subscription.
It's just yeah, all of the Hulu and the Netflix and Now TV. Yeah, maybe start thinking about that. It's weird. It's a hard one because there is no reason for her brother to be living with you rent free for 4 years. Rent free, I can understand. For a couple of days, I can understand. 4 years of rent free, no.
Yeah, how did you let it happen? How did you let it get to this? I mean, a couple of days. If someone says I'm staying for a couple of days,
Inviting myself over to your house for a couple of days.
I'm like asking them, "Oh, cool, yeah, no worries. Stay for a couple of days. What's your plan?" If they're still there within a week, I'm like, You said it was a couple of days. What's the strategy here to get out? Um, you can't be sitting on my couch the entire time.
Not doing his dishes.
Not doing his dishes.
Not doing his kids' dishes.
And after another week, you're beginning to go like, right, bro. There's two ways this is going to go. You're going to leave, and I'm going to kick you out. But you need to at least have a plan, right? And I think that's the thing. If they said, look, we're having real tough times to stay for a month or two, then that's fine. But then there's got to be you need to fundamentally decide if that's what you want, or you're okay to provide that support. But you also need to decide that needs to be like the deadline. Depending on the kid's situation, you could say, well, look, we're happy to look after the kids for slightly longer while you get yourself back on your 2 feet. It is not hard to afford a one bed flat renting if you've got a job. That's the first thing. It's like, get a job, get your own apartment, hopefully big enough for kids, get the 2 kids in, and you can then continue to provide support. Fundamentally, I think it comes from a misalignment between him and his wife. 4 years is crazy. I mean, he seems like a very patient guy, but this now seems to be at his detriment. There seems a very strange relationship between her and her brother. Yeah, 4 years.
My wits end. Like, I love my brother. I love both of my brothers a lot. And you know what? I'd be so willing to hang out with them for 4 years. But why are you coming to my house under the pretext of we're just going to hang out for a bit and then for 4 years? It doesn't say anything about the brother's financial situation, which I think is a bit of a red
Well, I
herring.
hope it's dire.
Well,
He better not be, just stashing cash under the mattress.
But he didn't say anything about paying for the kids or anything. So I'm assuming, this is what I'm assuming. Okay. This is the scenario. And this is why I think I don't have enough information. My assumption is the brother has a job and the brother is financially somewhat-ish, stable-ish on his own, but it's a bad job, pay-wise. And so he needs someone to help support him financially, a little bit at least. And the sister basically said, hey, I can help a little bit. And he was like, fantastic, I'm going to move in for a couple of days, i.e. 4 years. Yeah, I'll bring my couch. Literally. And then he stayed for 4 years. And the sister loves her brother and she understands his financial situation isn't the best, but it's not like the worst possible. He gets a really good deal because he doesn't have to pay rent. He doesn't have to do anything around the house, clearly, because they keep, feeding into this thing of like, well, you don't have to clean the dishes because at one point we'll do it for you. Once it gets gross and disgusting and flies and mold grow.
I weirdly think like there was a certain point, like initially he liked them staying. Because like you mentioned at a certain point, like they're messy, he has to clean up after their dishes and stuff. It's like, and you've been living.
He washes the kids. Dishes, not the kids.
You must be the most patient person on the planet to get annoyed after just four years. So 4 years go by, and then you're like, yeah, getting a bit annoyed. Like cleaning these dishes is a bit too much. It's a bit too much for me now after 4 years. So absolutely not the asshole. Bless him. Actually, I think he's too nice is his main problem. Main advice would be his way of going about saying to his wife, I'm only going to pay a third rent. Honestly, fine.
It's not great.
It's not a great solution.
It's not. I mean, I understand like the mentality of trying to force your wife into a situation. She has to put her foot down now. But at the same time, and also, by the way, for the financial situation, I think he can afford 1K, and that's why he chose that figure.
I actually think you're right. I think you're right. I think he does have a job.
But yeah, I think when you're trying to force someone's hand and you do it in a financial way, I think you are breaking trust. And what is she going to do if she can't force her brother to pay the mortgage? Is she then now going to have to scrape another 1,000 and pay for her brother?
Yeah, well, that's it. You're not actually aligned. I think one of the things, if I was going to give some advice, right, that you want to still maintain relationships and all that, you come up with a time period and say, look, wife, he's been here for 4 years. He needs to get out. You realise that. You're not talking to him about it. So let's say to him, together, you need to be out within a month. Your children need to be out within 2. We're still happy to support you. We can help you, but you need to be out. You need to both be aligned on that, and that's how you do it. And I think they're quite generous terms. You could just say get out in a week, but
I would try and I kind of disagree with the kids things. Like, it's not your job to parent your nephews and stuff, your nephews and nieces or whatever. But at the same time, they've clearly gotten some bad habits from living with their dad while he's living with you. So
I say the kids thing so he doesn't use it as an excuse, because there's no excuse for not being able to find a one bedroom apartment in a month.
But I think 2 months isn't enough. Just say, so 1 month for him, that's fine. But just say, we'll keep the kids as long as you need. Sort yourself out.
Don't say as long as you need. No, you can't say that. You've got to have a time limit, because otherwise, he's only staying for a couple of days. He'll just say
6 months.
Before you know it, you'll be going to their graduation when they're 18.
Whenever the end of the school year is, Oh, which would have been probably 2 months considering when this was written.
Per them.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
that's
think
just
take the wife out.
Yeah. I think that's honestly the definition of just being too nice.
Take the kids out. Just the kids.
You're actually facilitating his behaviour
Yeah.
by allowing it. So you actually do need to kind of crack down on it. And bless him, I feel sorry for him. He's too nice.
All right.